All right, hello, and welcome to the happier half hour from Strategy Core. Our goal is to have a little bit of fun and blow off some steam. And along the way, we're trying to shine a spotlight on some of our favorite small businesses, some of our favorite charities, and the people that we love. So please visit our website at strategycore.com/H3. You can see all of our episodes there and all the charities that we're supporting. My guests for today's episode are Joe and Will Wood. They're the owners of the Old Fashioned Farmstead in Alachua, Florida. They're going to give us a tour of their farm. We're just going to go for a walk on the farm today. Beautiful day for a walk. And along the way, they're going to educate us a bit about regenerative farming and why it's good for our planet and our health and our nutrition. And it's really good for our local economies. And as an added bonus for all of you home chefs out there, they're going to help us learn how to break down a whole chicken, which is a great way to save money and make tasty broths and stock at home. This is making me hungry already. Hey, Joe. Hey, Will. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good.
Doing
Yeah,
great.
so
Doing great.
we're out here on our farm here in Alachua, Florida, just outside of Gainesville, and we're just gonna walk you guys around and show you what it is that we do here and why it is we're so passionate about raising chicken, poultry, and pigs, kind of the old-fashioned way, and more the way that they're supposed to be raised out here under the sun, on grass and on pasture with frequent movement. So this is my wife Joelle, and I'm Will. And we're actually going to be raising some money as well for a charity
for
here.
Working Food. It's a nonprofit in our community, and they focus on strengthening our local food system. So they have a few different things going on there. They offer a certified kitchen for small and new businesses to use as they grow. They also have cold storage and dry storage for those businesses and other people. They offer educational workshops. They work with donations to help provide meals to people in need in the community. They practice seed saving. And one of the more important things they have done recently is they operated a drive-through farmers market with everything going on with COVID, and got a lot of us local farmers together with fruits and veggies and meat for our community. They can hop online, they can place their orders and go to one place to just drive through and pick up all those things in this time of need.
Yeah, so they're a great organization. We're really happy to be partnered with them and working with them. They do great things in our local community here in Gainesville. So now we're just going to kind of walk you guys around and let you see what we do, and just talk about some of the differences as well, and the benefits of raising chickens out here on pasture. And you can see unfortunately, it is quite hot and warm right now in Florida, so these coops, Joe, are really important, correct?
Yeah, and believe it or not, we did just have some rain, so it was a little cooler. But what's awesome about these coops here in Florida is that they have a higher ceilings, they offer more airflow, and they make a cooler environment for the animals. And we move them all by hand, so we don't use machinery or anything like that. And the floors are bottomless, so the chickens have access directly to the ground, to the fresh grass every day. We move these guys twice a day, so they get new forage, tasty bugs. They get dust to have little dust baths in, fresh, clean water all the time, and fresh organic feed all the time as well.
Yeah, so it's great, and really the difference is pretty easy to taste when you're having birds that are raised in this environment instead of in the big capo houses that they raise these in with 25 to 50,000 other chickens. So these guys have a lot more room to space out and again just really explore the grass when we move them, and
they get
eat.
To experience fresh air. They get some sunshine if they want to lay in the sun. And then when we move these guys, you can see they drop their manure directly onto the pasture. And in return, their manure feeds our pasture, and the grass comes back more thick, more lush, more green, and provides more nutrients for the next round of animals. And then right over here, you can easily see, we can see it on our end. I'm not sure if it's coming through on the camera, but you can see where our grass is greener from where we recently had some of our birds.
Yeah, so Joelle, explain to people about just the term regenerative. People hear terms all the time, and sometimes it can be confusing or even misleading. So what is it about what we do here with the term regenerative and everything that we do and the differences with that?
Yeah, so our goal is to leave our land better than when we came here. So the whole idea of constantly moving the animals, allowing their manure to fertilize the land, we're adding all that good stuff back and we're leaving our pastures better and they're improving along the way. And it just creates a better product for us all to enjoy as well.
Yeah, so that's so again for us, we're extremely happy to be able to do this, and obviously with the times that we've been going through right now with COVID-19 and everything that's been going on, a lot of the major food industry has been disrupted by all of this. And I'm sure most all of you have read or seen the news with how the essentially the big butcher areas are being affected by the virus. And so really doing it the way that we are at a very small scale and truly local is the difference. And we have been able to provide food for our community throughout this pandemic. So so now we're just kind of walking to the other portion of our farm. So we had that area earlier with the chickens. We've got a little garden here that we do for just us. We have some ducks as well. So we do.
Yeah, we're moving these guys through where we have some of our fruit trees. So the whole idea right now with these guys out front is so that they are basically spreading their manure around our fruit trees and providing nourishment for those guys.
Yeah, so again, these guys get moved multiple times, pretty much a day as well. We move them around throughout our main property here instead of on the pasture. Like she said, we have the fruit trees and different things for them. So it's great. So also we raise pigs as well here, and it's a little bit more small scale compared to the chickens. And you're going to hear our geese here. We have 3 geese that kind of, they were livestock guardians initially when we got them. They're not needed so much now because we do have some dogs, livestock guardian dogs. So over here on the forested portion of our lot, we raise our pigs. Let's go this way. And so they're in a forested section, which is great because it's more their natural habitat. And it helps just keep them cooler, especially during the summertime here in Florida when it's so warm. So these guys are going to be running around. It's getting much closer to dinner time for them. So we're just going to take a quick peek and let you guys see the pigs. And Joe, just go ahead and give us a little information on the pigs and what we do here.
It's pretty much what we do with the pigs is very similar to what we do with the chickens, is that we do move them often. These guys are about ready for a move. So as you can see, they dug up all the greenery, all the understory of this forested area. And next we'll move them over to a new section. And when they get their new section, they'll root around and eat up all that good, tasty stuff in the forest. And then once we move them, we'll seed the area with some different seeds and forages that are good and appropriate for the time of year. And it'll come right back. Again, their manure, we'll feed that new green forage. And then when we bring the next round of pigs through, they'll eat all that up and they'll
have more stuff to eat.
Cycle again.
Yeah, and for this area, when we first put pigs out here, it was so thick, the undergrowth and the understory was so overgrown. And they've been in this spot for just a short period of time, and they really make quick work just clearing it out and making the land a little bit more usable. And again, like I said, being able to come back through and plant fresh grasses behind it is just wonderful for them. And it gives them lots of stuff, lots of goodies to eat. And again, the shade is nice for them. They get to hang out and not be too hot out here, or at least try to stay a little bit warmer through a little bit cooler through all the hot summer temps here. So with our chickens, when we first get our chickens, so we don't hatch them here locally on farm. They are raised not too far away or hatched not too far away. They start off in a brooder. So we're going to show you guys that where they go for the first couple of weeks of their life before they move out to pasture. And the reason we put them in here is simply for protection, and also they really need to be at the right temperature. So let me show you guys what it looks like.
When you first get chicks, it's super important to give them an environment where you can control a little bit more of the elements. So they don't, when you first get them, they don't have any feathers. They're very adorable, cute puffballs, but they don't have the ability to really regulate their body temperature. So everybody needs to start them in something called the brooder, which basically we're like mother henning all the babies. We can warm this area up, we can cool it down. They have fresh water, they have fresh feed. We consistently add bedding to the ground so that covers up their manure. And then when they are old enough, which these guys are just about ready, when a good way to tell is when they're all feathered out on their wings like that, they're a little bit able, or they're more able to regulate their body temperature, and they can move out to pasture, just like our other birds we saw earlier. So these guys are a little over 2 weeks. So we like to move them out to pasture between 2 and 3 weeks, depending on what it's doing on the pasture. We're obviously not going to move them out in the middle of a rainstorm or if it's too cold. So when the weather's right and these guys have their feathers, they'll move on out.
Yeah, so that's pretty much just a quick, brief tour of the farm and how the life cycle goes for these chickens. From the time we receive them, it goes for about 8 weeks before we harvest them. So they do grow relatively quickly. So now we're just going to come inside and kind of show you guys how to cut up a chicken. This is something that's really been useful for us through everything that's going on. And we're about using every bit of the chicken that we can and maximizing all the different parts and making bone broth. So we thought it would be cool to show you guys how we cut up a whole chicken. And it's a really simple thing. And honestly, I didn't really know how to do it until a few years ago. So Joelle is going to guide you guys and walk you through exactly how to do that.
Yeah, so one of the first things we noticed once we started to sell chicken is that a lot of people don't know what to do with the whole chicken or how to even cut up a whole chicken. And it's something we've been doing for a while, and we're like, oh man, it's so easy, and it's the most economical way to purchase meats within your community. So I'm just going to take a couple minutes and show you how to do that in your home kitchen. And the most important thing is to start out with a sharp knife to make your life a lot easier. And when we cut it up, we're going to work between the joints, so we're not cutting through bone. And then when I like to start with the wings, and I'll use gravity to help me make those cuts and go between those joints. So I'll hold one wing up like this. I'll take my knife, and you can see where the joint is right there where I'm pointing. And I'll make my first cut, and you can see the joint right here. And I'll just follow through with my knife. You can see where it connects there, and you can just take your knife right through. So we're not cutting through bone at all. So there's your first wing, and then we'll repeat that on the left side of the chicken.
And Joe, you would say probably the most important thing about doing it this way is making sure not to cut into the bone and kind of dull the knife, I would imagine.
Yeah,
right?
you want to, the chicken is designed so you can easily cut through the joints, and you don't want to cut through the bone because then it's just going to make your life harder and it's going to mess up your knife too. We don't want that to happen. So there's your second wing. And then I like to move on to the leg quarters. And then again, you can see right where that skin is, there's a joint there. So we're going to start with our first cut right there. And then you're going to follow all along this thigh area that connects to the backbone, like so. And then this part, you just pop it back. And you can see the bone right there. And same thing, you'll just cut right there, slide your knife following this back area so you're not cutting through any bone at all. And then same thing on this side. Cutting through the skin, following along the back, popping that joint, and finishing your cut between the two bones. And then one of our favorite things to do with the leg quarters is these are great for grilling. It's nice and juicy, and the whole chicken's juicy, but they're easy to grill, they're easy to throw in the oven, but you can also take the drum off of the thigh if you want. And I find that the easiest way to do that is to flip your quarter over, and you'll see that there's actually a little fat line, and that helps you define where that joint is. And then I'll just take my knife, follow that, cut all the way through. There's that. There's your thigh. And then we'll do the same thing on the other quarter. Just follow that fat line, cut all the way through. There's your thigh. And then lastly, we'll do our breasts. And for teaching purposes, we'll peel the skin back so you can see it a little easier. And I'll put the neck cavity closer to me, and I'll peel the skin away from me, like so. And then you can actually see where you have one breast on either side, and then there's a bone right through the middle. So what I like to do is just start right in the middle, just to one side of that bone. And if you've ever filleted a fish, it's very similar to that. You just want to follow it all the way down, going nice and slow. And then the same thing, once you pull, there won't be any bone to cut through. And then there's your breast. Same thing on the other side. Follow through. Make sure you're not cutting through this is where your wishbone is right here. And then all the way down. Now, you also have on the opposite side of your breast, you have that tender that people really like. And you can just pull that off if you like. You can also leave it on. We usually pull them off and we'll either fry those up. They're great for doing fried chicken or cooking up real quick. But you can leave those on too. It's really up to you. You don't have to do one or the other. So there are your breasts. And then what you have left is that beautiful frame that we were talking about earlier. And you don't want to throw this away. You can see there's some skin on there. There's some meat actually along the carcass of the bird. And what's really great is you can throw this in a pot on your stove, let it simmer, and make delicious soup and broth and stock out of it. You can even pick all those little bits of chicken off of it, make chicken salad, throw it in a salad. It's great. A burrito, whatever you want.
Yeah, and right now, like just the frame, and we call it a chicken frame, but the carcass that's left over after you part it out, we have been, during this whole COVID-19 scare, we have been eating a lot of bone broth and making soups. And it's just so nice to be able to throw that in there. And the bone broth really helps boost your immunity and, help you be able to fight any sickness that you might run into. So we have been maximizing this and making sure to eat bone broth as often as we can. And so we have definitely been selling a lot of our chicken frames for good reason. But again, the whole chicken can really be a great way to save money, which everybody loves to do. And then also just gives you a maximum amount of meals when you part it out like this. And then at the end of the day, you still have the carcass left over for yummy bone broths. Anything else from your end, Joe, about parting it up? Or
no, you can stretch this so long. You get so many meals out of it and use every little bit of the chicken. And it's just a great way to be able to get some pasture-raised meats locally for a good price.
Yeah, so hopefully just our little walkthrough of how to cut up a chicken has been helpful during this time. And don't be afraid to do it for sure. If you've never done it before, just move slow. Make sure your knife is sharp, and I think it'll work out. And you'll find that you save some money and really just have a great meal options. So yeah, we're really excited to be here and to be able to do this and really provide food for our community. It feels good. It's hard work and it keeps us extremely busy. So we're glad we were able to kind of show you guys just a little quick brief tour of our farm here.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm making Nashville hot chicken tonight for dinner.
Oh,
that sounds good, right? Oh my gosh.
That sounds really good.
Well, you made it look so effortless there. So it was good. A couple little tips there that I've been doing that for a while, but there were a couple things that you said that have me rethinking my strategy. So thank you for that. You made it look so easy And it turned out, it was raining earlier, but it turned out to be a beautiful day for a walk on the farm. So
It did.
oh my gosh, that was so fun and interesting. And I appreciate what you're doing for your local community, and then just in general, as we think about ways to, for sustainability and treating our world a little better and focusing on that. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
The name of our show is the Happier Half Hour. So I always raise a toast at the end. First to both of you, Joe and Will. Thank you for sharing a little snapshot of your life and your farm with us. That was great. To the charity that you're supporting, Working Food, and the great things that they're doing for the people that need it in your community. And then I always raise a toast to our audience, who are primarily bankers who are giving back to their communities and the small businesses that they support. So thank you all for joining us today. Check out our website, strategycorp.com/H3 for all of our episodes. And I appreciate all of you joining us for today. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.